Hey folks, if you want to stay updated with the latest news and stories, make sure you follow S News to catch this and all our future videos. And, don't forget to support us by subscribing, liking and dropping a comment. It really helps us out, you know? Strikes, earthquakes in Iran, regional tensions and Israeli mothers against war. There's a lot going on these days. On January 19th, former US President Donald Trump posted on social media warning that it would take Iran years to restart its uranium enrichment facilities in Fordow, Natanz and Isfahan. He also vowed that the US would destroy any new nuclear sites Iran tries to build. According to Trump, 14 GBU-57 bunker-buster bombs were used to completely wipe out Iran's nuclear program. However, NBC News cited a recent US intelligence report saying that only the Fordow underground facility was fully destroyed. The Natanz and Isfahan enrichment sites may have survived the strike. Pentagon spokesperson Sean Bell dismissed the report, comparing the credibility of the media to the state of Iran's damaged nuclear sites, saying it would take years to rebuild them. Later that day, at 21:37 GMT, which is 4:37 in the morning Vietnam time on the 20th, Germany's GFZ Earthquake Center recorded powerful earthquakes in Iran. The first quake measured 5.3 on the Richter scale and hit northern and central regions at a depth of 10 kilometers. At the same time, a second 5.4 magnitude quake struck 31 kilometers east of the village of Kavat in northeastern Iran, also at a depth of 10 kilometers. Separately, the European Mediterranean Seismological Center reported a 5.6 magnitude quake in northern Iran on the 20th, with a shallow depth of only 3 kilometers, likely causing significant structural damage. Meanwhile, Israeli Channel Khan reported that about 2,000 refugees in Israel signed a petition volunteering to fight in Syria. This came in response to continued attacks on the Ar community in Suwaida province by Bedouin tribes and pro-government Syrian forces. In their statement, the refugees declared, "We are ready to fight alongside our brothers in Saida. It's time to defend our homeland and faith." Some of the signatories were Israeli army reservists, sparking concern among Israeli security officials who are trying to assure the Saida community that the government has a plan for Syrian intervention. In the past week, over 900 people were killed in Suwaida province due to escalating ethnic clashes between the Saida and Bedouin tribes. The situation got even worse when the Syrian army tried to step in but was forced to retreat after Israeli airstrikes. Armed tribal groups from all over Syria have since flooded into Saida, raising fears of ethnic cleansing. The Saida community is a distinct religious and ethnic group mainly residing in Syria, Lebanon and Israel. Their beliefs share many similarities with the Druze faith, and they don't accept conversions or marriages outside the group. In Israel, around 140,000 Saida live, about 2% of the population. There are also between 250,000 to 300,000 Saida refugees in Syria, most of them in the Suwaida region, with deep historical ties to the Israeli Saida community. Many of these Israeli refugees have long urged the government to protect their Syrian kin, even though Tel Aviv has no formal alliance with the group in Syria. Amid the chaos in Gaza, many Israeli mothers anxiously follow news of their children on the front lines. Concerned for their lives and future, tens of thousands of Israeli women have formed anti-war groups. Attorney Azilit Hasaka-Sidob, founder of Israeli Mothers on the Front Line, said, "We are the mothers of soldiers and we haven't had a peaceful night's sleep in 2 years." The 48-year-old mother of 3, one of whom is currently serving, added that the group, made up of roughly 70,000 mothers of active-duty soldiers, draftees and reservists, is calling for an end to the fighting in Gaza. Many other mothers share this same fear. They're working to stop a war that an increasing number of Israelis believe must come to an end, even though a ceasefire remains difficult. The group also stresses the need for all men to serve in the military, as required by Israeli law. This has become an especially urgent demand due to the exemption of ultra-Orthodox Jews from military service. Ultra-Orthodox influence, military strain, and Israeli mothers pushing back. The strict, insular, ultra-Orthodox Jewish community is causing deep divisions within Israeli society, especially at a time when the military is facing a manpower shortage during its 21-month-long war with Hamas. As the war drags on, Mrs. Saub fears that Israel will suffer long-term consequences. She said, "We're seeing young men in their 20s who are completely broken, mentally shattered and exhausted, coming back with psychological wounds that society hasn't even started to heal. They're ticking time bombs on our streets, prone to violence and sudden outbursts." According to the Israeli military, 23 soldiers were killed in Gaza last month alone, and more than 450 have died since Israel launched its offensive in October 2023. Saub rejects accusations that the army has been careless with soldiers' lives. She said that ground combat has mostly stopped and now soldiers are dying because of IEDs and operational mistakes. She asked, "Where are they sending our children? To be human shields in a live fire zone?" For months, Mrs. Sidob has been pressing both the Israeli parliament and the public to end the war. She opened her car trunk, revealing a stack of protest signs and loudspeakers. One sign read, "Soldiers are falling, and the government is doing nothing." She insisted her campaign isn't political. "Mothers in 2025 are strong. We're not afraid of anyone, not generals, not religious leaders, not politicians," she said. Her group isn't alone. Outside the home of Army Chief of Staff Inan al-Jami one morning, 4 women gathered to demand better protection for their children. Dr. Rotem Stefan Hubman, a physician and mother of 2 soldiers, said, "We're here to ask him to protect the lives of the children we entrusted to him. He should be accountable for military decisions and not let politics gamble with our kids' lives." Hubman is one of the leaders of the Awakened Mothers movement, whose motto is, "We don't give birth to wars without purpose." She said she's felt for months that this war must end. Despite all the sacrifices soldiers have made, nothing has been done to use those gains to negotiate. No steps have been taken to stop the war, bring back the hostages, withdraw troops from Gaza or reach any kind of agreement. Standing beside her was Oris Gorpkin, whose son is currently deployed. She said, "Every time my son comes home from the battlefield, I'm relieved, of course, but I can't feel completely happy because I know he'll have to go back." At the funeral of 19-year-old soldier Julie Factor, who was killed in Gaza, his mother wept in front of his coffin, which was draped in the Israeli flag. Before he was buried, she said, "I want to hug you. I miss you. Please forgive me. Protect us wherever you are." Azerbaijan demands accountability for plane crash. In a speech on December 19th, Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev addressed the crash of an Azan Airlines plane in December 2024. He called on Russia to publicly admit that it mistakenly shot down the aircraft and warned of legal action. "We know what happened and we have the evidence to prove it," Aliyev said. Russian officials were definitely aware of what was going on. "Unfortunately, we don't understand why they've chosen to stay silent for the past 7 months. Azerbaijan claims that Russian air defense mistakenly shot down the plane, carrying 67 people after it entered Chechnya's airspace during a Ukrainian drone attack. The plane tried to change course but crashed in the Atau region of Kazakhstan. 38 people died, while 29 survived thanks to the pilot's last-minute efforts. Russian President Vladimir Putin later apologized and expressed condolences, but referred to the incident only as a tragic accident. He never acknowledged that Russian air defense had downed the plane. President Aliyev insisted that Russia must take responsibility and compensate the victims' families and the airline. He said these were standard international legal demands and aligned with good neighborly relations. "Why didn't they act like responsible neighbors?" Aliyev asked. He stressed that if the situation were reversed, Azerbaijan would have responded responsibly. Silence and indifference in the face of such an incident are wrong. They could even be seen as a threat to neighboring countries. He said that Azerbaijan is ready to use every legal tool available to resolve the matter if Russia refuses to accept responsibility and pay compensation. He added that Baku would patiently wait for justice no matter how long it takes. Back in February, Kazakhstan's Ministry of Transport released a preliminary report on the crash. It confirmed the aircraft suffered severe external damage, including to the vertical and horizontal stabilizers and the hydraulic system, but didn't mention the cause. Photos included in the report showed multiple holes in the left tail section and strange metallic debris that had been pulled from the aircraft. Investigator Azerbaijan confirmed that a piece of a missile from a Pen air defense system was recovered from the wreckage and sent to international